The Osun State governorship election has been concluded, with attention now shifting from voting to the credibility of the electoral process and the integrity of the results. Yiaga Africa says the official results announced by INEC fell within its independently projected ranges based on observation from 289 of 300 sampled polling units. The organization says this indicates that the final figures reflected the ballots counted at polling units.
Let's mention that Yiaga cautioned the accurate result tabulation and says it does not amount to an endorsement of every aspect of the election, particularly amid reports of vote buying and voter inducement. Now, the organization also said INEC and security agencies largely passed the election day preparedness tests, while independent monitoring reported some challenges, including BVAS delays and vote trading. Well, joining us as we have this conversation on how the elections definitely went is political analyst and, of course, the CEO of TAF Africa, Dr. Epelle, who was live on ground monitoring from polling units and ensuring that the data was right. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, guys. I am still live on ground. I haven't left Osun. We're just picking up the pieces on post-election reporting and analysis, and we're right here. So thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
All right. Can you tell us what your overview would look like, especially for INEC? Let's get to hear from you. Do you think they actually performed brilliantly this time?
Well, let me start by saying that democracy has spoken. Democracy spoke loudly in Osun. The people have spoken. They have chosen and given mandate to the person of their choice. And so at the moment, we're no longer projecting. It's no longer projection. We have the official verdict of the election. In terms of your question, INEC performance. Well, INEC had declared the result. I would say that if you want me to give INEC some sort of marks, I would do 6/10. They can get better. I left the other 4 for some of the issues that I wanted to speak about this morning. And that is the malfunctioning of the BVAS, for instance. But I also give it to them. They had a backup plan, and immediately, in some cases, they were able to turn around the situation and present a better option. So generally speaking, in terms, my 6 points to them includes the fact that they were able to manage what would have been a very serious crisis in their hands. They were able to manage that situation. I will also give it to them that, so to speak, they did not meddle. They did not try to turn the wheel of the people or turn the result of what the people had voted. So maybe with a bit of hindsight, I might just give them one more point and say, and change my mind to say 7/10. They did try in terms of inclusion, which has always been my area, by providing some magnifying glasses and priority voting. I will give them 90/100. You know, there were priority voting across board. The older persons, persons with disability, pregnant women, women with children. I wish the success of driving priority voting by INEC will trickle in every other aspect of inclusion. But generally speaking, we had a peaceful election. Everybody was concerned. The security, the tensed security atmosphere was something that gave concern to everyone. And thank God it did not happen the way and manner some reckless politicians have envisaged. And I was listening to you guys when you were talking about this particular senator. I think if we are a true democratic society, if the polity is sane, that man by now should shamefully resign from Senate. Because I thought that when he made the first reckless statement, and then there is this kangaroo showing up in police station and all that, and being cautioned that he would, back out. But I think his pride and arrogance is still running, and his mouth is still running like one who is on caution. So that's very, very important. And could that be a signpost to what is coming, where an individual will stand up and make a reckless statement and goes without any reprimands? So these are some of the things that people are rejoicing. We went round Oshobo in particular yesterday, and you can see the joy of the people. You can see the support of the people. I also want to commend the governor because he recognized and did reach out to some civil society leaders, thanking them for coming out and speaking forcefully for democracy. So the signpost of what to come in 2027 could be your next question. So I wait until you ask the question.
Okay, thank you very much for highlighting a number of these things that INEC did well, because it's important that when an organization that has been put under the spotlight has done well, that we say that they have done well. So thank you very much for pointing out the priority voting, alternative for the malfunction of BVAS, and all the other points that you made. You also said that your score will be 7 over 10.
6.
No, you first said 6, then you moved it up to 7 over 10.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
So let's talk about the remaining 3. What didn't work well for you?
Smart girl. Okay, Olive, please give me olive branch this morning. Okay, so let's talk about what didn't work well. There were some polling booths that didn't start election on time. There were some of the ad hoc staff that they were not properly briefed. There were also some logistical problem, deployment issues, as the case may be. And of course, the issue of some sort of confusion. And I think I also want to go to the collation center. Sometimes the disorganization, the disconnect you see between the election, the party agents' communication with INEC, and of course sometimes the unwillingness of some of these officials to give interviews to television stations who are reporting for their own sake what is going on. Now, the bigger issue, 2 big issues. One, some level of insecurity and where security breaches happened. Some of these places already on our report, but there were noticeable security breaches. There were noticeable security intervention, negative intervention. It was true that someone was imported from River State. And when you say River State, you can literally say where that signal is coming from. And the person was going to cause trouble, but I think eventually that situation was taken care of. He was warned, and they probably backed out. That's why we don't see much mayhem. But there were a lot of security breaches and reports reaching us that there were even incidents of somebody losing their life. So security was a huge issue. Now, the biggest elephant in the room is not vote buying, but vote trading. Because when we talk about vote buying, we're looking at just the politicians giving money and buying votes. But also we need to talk about the one who is willing to purchase what is being offered. And we saw a dimension in Osun that I will applaud, and hopefully the same thing will play out in other states during 2027 election. And that's the rejection of the offer. There are many instances, and we saw videos making rounds, that Osun people actually turned down 20,000, 10,000, and all that. I didn't, let me put a caveat, I didn't see that myself, but I saw videos and I got some reports that it was a reality. However, these are some of the issues that we need to deal with. I think there are other issues. The welfare of security personnel that were deployed across board. And I want to challenge, I brought that out in our meeting with the IGP and said, I hope that your men have been taken care of. He assured me, plus other leaders in that meeting, that plus other, sorry, someone was trying to reach me, and I'm going to just put up the phone.
We can hear you.
Yeah. So there was cases. Sorry, I got distracted. So somebody, I did pose a question to the IGP and asked the IGP if he had taken care of his men. And he assured me and other leaders in the room that the allowances have been paid. I don't know. I think he needs to verify that, because on ground there were whispers that I got that some of them haven't even received that allowances. So it may not be the problem of the IGP. It could be the problem of those that are on ground. So I intend to have a meeting with him this coming week, and I'm going to remind him to double check to make sure. Yeah, because guys, as much as we want to see these people protect lives and properties, we want to also see their own life protected. So those are some of the issues that came up that you could put in the box of the three that I didn't give to the election in general, not necessarily INEC. The other thing is the issue of journalists. I think I want to talk about this just for 30 seconds.
Go ahead.
The time has come for whether politicians and electoral umpires to begin to speak against the way journalists are treated, the way politicians pushes them around when they are trying to get the story that would give Nigerians the information that they need. It may not have happened here in general, but it has been the order of the day. Elections after elections, we see the harassment of journalists, we see the intimidation of journalists, and sometimes these politicians that still are camera hungry, that needs them, will not know that they are putting their information out there, and they will start abusing them. So these are some of the issues that I could say fits in within the three brackets that I did not give to the election.
Okay, Dr. Epelle, thank you so much for that overview. Now let's talk about what you described as the elephant in the room: vote trading, vote buying. As the people of Osun State, from what happened over this weekend, have they flipped the script. They made money a non-factor, going by the fact that there was a party that tried to induce and, put out a war chest, and the people still made their decision. So going forward, can we calmly say that money would be relevant when it comes to politics and also the weaponization of poverty?
Well,
Or it's a one-off?
It depends on where you go. I think Osun people are very, very, very politically aware, and they are focused on who leads them. Now, that does not mean that other segment of Nigerians are not, but it's a new dynamics. Is an emerging issue, and some of the things that many of us have been preaching, that and this is a very good opportunity and platform to talk about this. There are, even within the civil society, there are people who have been pushing this mantra, which is evil. Oh no, take the money, vote your conscience. I don't believe that. I don't believe that the people should take money and illicit money and still feel that they can vote their conscience. I believe a total rejection of that kind of offer, because when you take the money from them, somehow, knowingly or unknowingly, you are now committed to them. So it's a matter of conscience, and my philosophy is don't accept money you cannot explain. I've made up my mind as an individual that I will never earn money that I will not be able to account for my children, for people around me, and that's the issue. And I think it's something that we need to highlight and project, that if Osun people can turn them, can turn away and refuse this kind of bait, then other people should learn from them and do the same thing. It is doable. It is something that we need to encourage. And come 2027, reject their stupid money. They've stolen from you, and they want to give it to you through the back and then control you for the rest of your life. If you're a true politician and a true leader who wants to lead the people, you don't need to bribe anybody. Let them elect you, go there and represent them and represent their interests.
And I completely agree with you, Dr. Epelle. Our final question to you this morning. Many have likened what has happened to Osun and have made some comparative analysis with Rivers State, and have said that maybe Rivers could have learned a thing or two. They've wondered if Governor Fubara had played by a different set of rules, maybe a different set of results or outcome would have emerged. Do you see why they would make this comparison? And if yes, do you think that there are lessons that Rivers could have learned from Osun, that Governor, similar like Fubara, could have learned from Governor Adeleke?
This girl. Okay, all right, my dear, truth be told, the moment this scenario played out, my state came to mind. I felt bad, to be honest with you. I felt bad. I felt bad in the sense that if Governor Fubara has stayed the course, most probably this would have been the case. So anyone who is making that comparison is not far from the truth. Did Governor Fubara make the right decision? That's his personal choice. I cannot critique that. Will I have done the same thing? No. I probably would have stayed on and get to the end. So yes, there is a parallel between what has happened here, because this was a case of a man who resisted intimidation. This was a case of a man who stood his ground. This was a case of a man who knew that the people were solidly behind him. And I want to say this to politicians in general, be people-centered, not political, be people class, not political class. If you focus on the people and you hold on to the fact that you know that you have the support of the people will put you there. Whether anybody likes it or not, it was Osun people that stood by Adeleke and ensure that he got back his mandate. period. It wasn't necessarily absolutely. He played a role, no doubt. He played a role. His family name played a role. Davido effort played a role, but it wasn't necessarily that all of that factor is the major factor that brought him. The major factor that brought him is that, one, the people were solidly behind him. Two, the people have seen that he has done better, and they are not sure the next person coming in will do better.
Okay. All right.
The people saw the tangible dividends of his effort, and they trust him that he will do more. So, Olive, it's very painful that we can make this parallel, but it is true that it probably would have been the same in Rivers State.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the job well done, Dr. Epelle, and thank you so much for taking time to speak with us this morning when you should be resting after the tough weekend. But
also wish you a safe trip back to your base, and please ensure you try amala in Osogbo. It's very nice.
Incidentally, I'm a Nigerian, but I don't eat amala. But great to hear your sonorous voice.
Thank you.
Please try and avoid bread if you can at the same time. Thank you so much for joining us.
2 kg
No, you don't start, though. I will speak your language now.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.